Working alongside yourself again. You got back late last night from sunnier pastures, I believe, but good to have you back in the cold weather and back here at Icon Park. And as you said, both sides coming off a loss last week. Carlton in a close one against Port Melbourne. Geelong a close one against Casey. They really challenged them, but they're going to be up against it today as they look for a place in the top 8 as we get underway. Segler won the first hit out. Geelong will come away with it. Here's Narkle. Thought about the give to McLaughlin, then gave it off to Ling instead. In fact, that was Lloyd. Now at half forward, all Carlton. Here's Fogarty. Not going anywhere with it. He's wrapped up by Dalhouse.
A couple of key ins for the Blues today. Mark Pitnet comes back his first game since round 6. And Mitch McGovern, his first game since round number 2. Ed Curnow back in their previous game as well. So they've got some good numbers coming in for the Blues. Yeah,
that they do. 11 AFL-listed Carlton players out there today. And, well, there's one AFL-listed player for Geelong taking the mark, Radigalea. They've got 12 out there today. Do the Cats. Radigalea is going to launch it towards full forward. Neil had to contend against a few. Crocker left it behind, and this is dangerous. Burns in the area. Geelong, of course, kicking to the right of screen in this opening term. Carlton did win the toss. Plenty of players over the top of this one, and we'll have it tossed up inside forward 50 for the Cats.
A couple of key-ins for the Cats as well. Sam Simpson plays his first game for season 2022. He had concussion issues out of the pre-season, hasn't actually been cited. And James Willis as well. He's the draftee from last season. He's actually the last of the draftees to actually play at this level. He's had problems too. He had knee injury. He's picked 32 in last year's draft. So it's good to see him out there as Fogarty goes around the body. And this is going to be a ball at Blues ball. Carl to take it, and they're going to work it to that outer side of the ground. A good crowd as well holding the footy. The result here is going to be a turnover. Ling for the Cats. Right on centre wing. No scorers yet. Early stages of this one. Round 17. Shellcraft. This is Kate Shellcraft, who's the 23rd player today for the Cats. Wanting to go back in the Ling direction. There is a push out. And it is going to be a Blues free kick. Looks like O'Brien out there who's going to take it. Sunny conditions, but breezy. As this kick goes up the line. Segler with the front position for the Cats. And Dow's there for the Blues. The dribble's inside 50. This is a dangerous footy. McLaughlin was brought down. Good tackling pressure as well. And we'll have this ball thrown up.
So 2.5 minutes in, no score yet. Geelong only a couple of games out of the top 4 even, with the Giants going down to the Lions earlier today. Setterfield puts them inside 50 for the first time. Akui can't bring it in. Stevens under pressure. Narkle in space. He'll have time to gather and needs to pick an option outside defensive 50, but he's turned it over. That's straight to Setterfield. And he'll go right to the paint of 50. And now the Blues are on O'Brien. Is it a centering ball? Is it a shot? It's the former Crocker. First hands to it. Spinning round the corner is Hanley, but that's well across the face. And out of bounds on the full. It'll be Weigel, the man in the number 92, to take the resultant free kick.
The famous number 92.
We actually saw his debut a few weeks ago, Peter, against North Melbourne.
It's good that he's held his spot too. Playing in the local footy league down there and getting his opportunity at VFL level with the Cats, but he's turned the footy over. Radovanovic will square it up to the middle of the ground. Chincotta will go with a short ball as well. Fogarty from 48 goes low, heading for the goal square. Maybe not the best of options, but Glass McCasker can wheel around. They've still got the numbers here, the Blues. The handball missing Crocker. McLaughlin, Nevitz, and they'll clear out to a very, very vacant 50. So it allows Kemp plenty of time, and that's handy because now he's caught up. He's in all sorts of trouble, and he's pinged for holding the footy. He just lost his feet at the wrong time, and here's Schaefer. In fact, it's not Schaefer, it's Bond. Late inclusion into the side. His kick into the pocket will be thrown in. He just lost his footing there. just at the wrong time, even though he had the space, and then he was gobbled up quickly. I've got to say, this surface looking magnificent. Fair to say I've been following much of the Melbourne weather, but I have heard that it's been a little wet. So this is an excellent condition.
It's been wet, it's been chilly, but the ground's held up well here as Nevitt. Oh, we've got a free kick in the ruck, and it's going to be going to Murkov, the former volleyballer. Gives it off to Setterfield, and the Blues can exit defensive 50. O'Brien's patrolling the outer wing in the early stages and takes the mark. Back into the VFL side after 14 disposals in the West last week for Carlton against West Coast as he goes short to Curnow. It's great to see him back from injury as well. Played his first game of the season last week. And now Dow, another top 10 pick from 2017. He'll poke it short. And after a couple of nervy moments, Moschetti hangs on to it. He's the 23rd man for the Blues today. They're working it along the outer side, and now inside 50 off the boot of O'Brien. Akui can't bring it in. On the ground, Crocker just paddling it towards a teammate. Nevitt gets a boot on it, but it's not a good one. Straight to Fogarty, but he's taken down in a good tackle. Ling did well. No free kick paid. Simpson, good for him to get his first touch, and the Cats can clear defensive 50 through Dalhouse.
Yep, he gets it onto a running Ling, and they're going to get some overlap run through the middle of the ground. May only be temporary. It ends up with Narkle. His kick going long and wide. There's no chance for Bond to get to that one. We're going to have it tossed in. Yeah, last week, Carlton going down to Port Melbourne by 3 points. So both these teams wanting to turn things around. Interesting there about Murkov being a volleyballer. You have to wonder why we haven't seen more volleyballers coming in as ruckman into the competition.
He's anyway, a very tall man.
Well, exactly. You need the height. Setterfield goes over the top here. Curnow. He's pushed as he kicked. He still managed to get up the line nicely. Glass McCasker. But if you are tall and you've got those skills, well, it might be a fertile environment.
Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of those spikes, though.
Yes. Now, it's just outman there was Crocker. The kick is going up the line. Neil paddling in front of him, but running out of room. And we'll have it tossed in on that outer side.
Yep, so 210 centimetres, Alex Murkov. He was playing for the Carlton VFL team last year, and they decided to draft him in the mid-season draft. It's pick number 6 overall in that draft last year. He's just developing nicely at VFL level. He's going to go up against a seasoned vet, though, in Segler here from the boundary throw-in. Segler did well there, but straight to O'Brien. He's already up to 6 touches. Bouncing ball up the wing in front of Glass, McCasker and Caperon, and maybe harshly paid deliberate as Caperon brings it back into Ling. Co-skipper of the Geelong VFL side, Matthew Ling, hasn't missed a game yet this year. Now Angus Burns going to switch. Here is Simpson once again. As Peter mentioned earlier, first game of the season after lingering concussion symptoms. Always a scary sign. Saw Max Lynch play. He's also had some of the same issues last week. So just good for some of these boys to maybe get some games into them and just start feeling like footballers again. Here's Willis, speaking of first touches of the season. It's his first touch in the hoops, and it's not a good one. He's turned it over to Durden.
Yeah, Durden wearing 39 today, not 38. Not 100% across why that's the case, but we're rolling with it anyway.
Served for an interesting pre-game discussion.
Did. That's where it'll remain. As Segler takes the mark uncontested. The kick towards the 50 is a good one. Here's Nevitz. Now, give us a good indication of what the breeze is doing here. Nevitt wheels around from 50, decides to go low. It can't clear the pack. Durden with the fist. And through for a behind. And that's the first score of the game. And we have travelled almost 11 minutes into this opening quarter.
Yep, did take a while. The Blues go long from the kick in. Glass McCasker contending with Caperon, and out of bounds, perhaps a good result for both sides. I mentioned earlier, Lockie O'Brien's up to 6 disposals. Paddy Dow next up with 5. And for the Cats, Ben Lloyd leading the way with 5. Quinton Narkle up to 4. So It's very familiar names leading the disposal list so far. Here's Narkle again. Shoots it out, and now they go inside 50, the Cats. Neal outbodied out of this one. Dempsey's in there, so too Neal. Handballs to the space. McLaughlin just can't get boot to ball. Still alive here, the Cats, and now it's over. So we'll toss it in right next to the left hand behind post. Cats lead it by just the 1 point. About 10 minutes in, and that's the only score we've been able to muster so far. A rush behind to Geelong as we toss it back in. Pitternet want it down from the back position. Carlton clearing kick. Bounces off the chest, and now it's danger. McCarthy shoots it out. Bond. High ball towards the top of the square. Radagalia's there. Off hands. Carlton able to repel. Might not be for too long, though, because Ben Lloyd's leading the foot race. He's looking to gather. Has he kept it in? No. And that was Simpson taking it over the boundary line. Had Ollie Sanders hot on his heels.
So this ball to be thrown in. Well, they've got quality Carlton sitting at 8 and 5 on the ladder. Ben Crocker, as we've seen a couple of times already today, he's got 29 goals for the season. He's third in the Frosty Miller medal race for the leading goal kicker. Murkov, we were talking about him earlier, getting the ball down here. He's third on the league list, 380 hitouts for the season so far. This car was brought down in the tackle. We'll have it tossed in. Just into attack here for the Blues. Nice crowd building up. They're only in the Legends stand these days because of the redevelopment work going on at the ground. The ball tossed back in. Ma to run onto it for Carlton. Eventually spills free. See Pitnet just trying to put in the big strides. Did well in the end, but coughed up the footy. Nevitz working around at Dempsey. One of the many Olivers in this Geelong lineup, on the Geelong squad anyway. Here's Zane Williams, the mid-season draftee, and I think this is going to be 50. McGovern is standing the mark. Williams, I think almost in goal-scoring range by the time Setterfield is put on the mark by the umpire. He's not going to take the shot, it looks like, or maybe he will. He thought about perhaps going short, but he's decided to ignore that. He'll go back and have the set shot.
Yep, he was a goal kicker at Woodville West Torrens.
Yep, so we suspect he's going to give it everything. He has, but he's pulled it across the face, and we'll have it tossed in. Shannon Neal, the tall target down there. As we wait for this ball to be tossed back in. Near the behind post. Really tough conditions with this breeze today. Pitnet with the front position. Into the path here of Evans. No Francis Evans in the lineup for Geelong today. Dempsey was brought down in the tackle. They're still on 50. It's going to spill free. Here's Stevens, who just throws it onto the boot. It's very congested inside the 50 for the Cats, and we'll have it tossed in again.
A little bit surprised Stevens didn't have a crack there. He was definitely within range. Very much noted for his long kicking and his precise foot skills. Pick 47 back in the 2020 AFL draft from the GWV Rebels was Nick Stevens. From the restart, a couple of players went to ground. It is a little bit slippery out there, but we mentioned earlier, the ground is in pretty good nick. Here's a Quee. Needs to be good on the ground, and he was very good. Has played mostly as a defender this season. Now spending some time in the forward line. Tumbling ball towards half forward. Unable to take the grab there was Caperon. Aqui got it from Glass McCasker. Weaved in and out of the traffic. Back to O'Brien, who's having another touch to the top of the square. Geelong defence had the numbers, but they've made a meal of it, and they're going to get a free kick here, the Blues. The forward pressure was good, and it's going to be Carl to take the shot.
Too many times inside 50.
Just able to get them on the slingshot on that occasion, the Blues. Quick ball movement, a couple of lucky pounces as well. Aqui had a couple of impressive involvements in that chain as well. The Next Gen Academy product for the Blues. And it's going to be Ned Carl. He kicked 3 goals 2 last week from 21 disposals. He is a little goal sneak. 19-12 for the season. This one pretty much top of the square. And he puts it through for the first of the day for Carlton. They get the first goal, 1 straight 6. The Cats, 1 behind.
Yeah, good build-up, as you said there, from the Blues. They're starting to get some good numbers playing at this VFL level. I mentioned about some of these players coming into the lineup, but there's going to be a bit of competition for spots, particularly with the AFL squad going as well as it is at the moment.
A lot of injuries as well in the AFL side they've had to deal with this year, Carlton, but some of those players are starting to come back. We've got a couple of them out there today in McGovern and Pitternet, and they're expecting to get a couple more back in the next few weeks as well. So competition for spots, especially among those VFL listed players.
Well, you'd have to think about someone like a Pitnet, for example, and McGovern, if they have a good hit out today and maybe play even next week. They've got the Giants next week back here at Icon Park, whether that would be enough maybe to get them in for a potential finals campaign. That remains to be seen. Meanwhile, long ball coming in from Mar for the Blues. It carries the initial pack. Plenty of numbers here for the Cats. Simpson, delicate, short, and gets the result he wants. But the problem for the Cats now is the kick up ahead. And that's what Evans has to deal with. This is Jack Evans, who's kick up the line. It's out of bounds. We'll have it tossed in that legend stand. Good to see the fans coming along. Good opportunity just to head down on the tram straight after the match, and you'll be there in plenty of time for the match tonight down at the MCG.
Absolutely shapes up as a massive contest as that one. A couple of top 4 worthy sides going at it as we have a free kick and advantage taken by the Cats. That was Kate Charlcraft to Narkle. They're using the forward handball. Inside forward 50, the target's going to be Neil. Got hands to it. Good defensive work, though, by McGovern. Setterfield now doesn't have too many options, so he goes back for Durden. Played the old 1-2 with Durden, did Setterfield, and well, he's ended up kicking it into Neil. But no harm done. It's out over the boundary line. It's just the 1 goal so far in this game, courtesy of Ned Carl for the Blues. 7 inside 50s to 6 in favour of Carlton. But it feels like Geelong have had it in their forward half of the ground a bit more often. Seems weird to say, but that's just how it's felt so far as they get another clearance, the Blues. Setterfield it was again, putting it on the boot. And off hands, that'll be tossed in once again.
Should mention plenty of other Smithies VFL action going on today. The Brisbane Lions having a win over the Giants, 10-16-76 to 8-10-58 up at Blacktown. That was the early start. Got Sandringham, 8-13-61, leading Coburg, 6-3-39, 16 minutes into the third quarter there.
Yeah, and because of that loss by GWS, Carlton actually a chance to push into the top 4 in the Smithies VFL with a win here. They need some results to go their way, but still a possibility as that kick inside 50 from Murkov is marked by Stevens. Goes short to Zane Williams, who wants to go somewhat corridor and is able to find a teammate. And they're going to keep going up the guts, the Cats. The ball eludes Neil initially, and well, Big Sapatolis had to try and run onto that one, and Radovanovic had him covered for pace. Now McGovern, who'll clear, but it's straight to Stevens once again.
Yeah, you can hear the wind blowing in our effects mics. It is really tough. Even on the construction side of the back there, you can see the wind and what it's actually doing. It is gale force out there, and we got another stoppage. Just some of the other games going on. 9 minutes into the second quarter at Box Hill, 3-5-23 Werribee leading Box Hill 3-3-21. And 4-3-27 Richmond leading the Kangaroos 1 behind at Arden Street. That game starting at the same time as ours. Good mark taken by Carl, who will go short and find Fogarty, who's got some overlap run, and they've got some opportunity to really go here. Marr gets the handball over the top. Here's Crocker. This ball, look at it, hold up in the breeze. Oh, that's actually a very good mark in the end. Well judged by Lloyd. That set up for a long time. I'll tell you what, there was a State of Origin kick a couple of days ago that went just as high and hung in the air for just as long. This one was wind assisted though. Unbelievable. Schaefer goes short. Segler will go over the top. Simpson around some traffic. The kick, coming through there. Bond just trying to create the pack and got in and got his own footy too. He's tackled to the ground. He's not going anywhere. And we'll have the ball tossed up on centre wing.
So there's Lockie Bond there into the lineup today for the Cats. His first VFL game actually came as a member of Carlton last year. Kicked 3 goals in that one. Now he's played a couple of games for the Cats this year. Here's a chance for the Blues, taken by Dow. Good work with the quick hands inside, and that's neat ball use inside 50. Carl takes the mark, has a man running alongside. That's O'Brien, and from a standing start on 45, he kicks to nothing, really. Kicked in between Crocker and Caperon, and all Crocker could do was carry him over the goal line, and that's a disappointing result for the Blues. 1-1-7 to just one behind into time on opening term.
So wait for this ball to come back into play. And Stevens has turned it over though. It's going to come straight back in again. North. Good ball inside 50. You might as well look for the tall target, Murkov, who goes across the face of goal. O'Brien, he's going to take the mark. They had 2 lining up there. O'Brien the better option because he had a little bit more space. And will line up and have the shot 30 out.
Had an opportunity earlier, O'Brien, just maybe 30 seconds ago, but this one from the set shot should make a better effort.
Yep, 9 disposals, leading disposal winner on the ground in this opening quarter. As we're into time on, stabs at it, but it's effective. Blues with their seconds. So the inside 50 count is 11-8. You mentioned that before. Peps, it was most of that, well, the first half of this quarter was played to the right of screen, down Geelong's end, but it's been the Blues who've been able to capitalise.
Yeah, they've just been able to work their way on top in this contest in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And they've gotten a couple of goals for their efforts.
The thing is, if the Geelong can get the win today, as I mentioned, they're only 2 games out of the 8, even though they're in 15th spot. And they've got the bye next week. And then 3 out of their last 4 games are at home. So there's a real opportunity. There's some really winnable games coming up for them, but they need to get that momentum going.
Yeah, that's right. As you mentioned, the bye next week, then Coburg, Sandy and Port Melbourne are those 3 games at home that you mentioned. All are definitely winnable, but the Blues will win the clearance here. Murkov, Dow, high ball towards half forward. Carl did get hands to it, didn't keep it in. Thought he did momentarily, but umpire says we'll throw it in. Kate Childcraft standing alongside him. Younger brother of Jai, of course, who's been one of the Cats' best players in the VFL this year. And Carlton are going to win another clearance. Moschetti left it behind. Narkle was pressuring him. O'Brien, another disposal. Inside 50 again go the Cats, but the defence for Geelong just holding up at the moment. Caperon able to get on the end of that one, and now he looks up and he doesn't have a hell of a lot to go to. So he's just going to send it high and long to a contest. Segler, the tall timber. Radaglia from the back. Couldn't drag it down. Murkov now applying the pressure. Here's Radaglia again. Spotted Nevitt in board, but missed him by hand. Hanley then left it behind. Lou jumps in. And he might be in a little bit of trouble, dived on it. Umpire says no, we'll toss it up instead. Carlton still leading it by 12 points.
Yep, as we work our way to quarter time. Been a competitive game of footy so far. Blues making the most of their opportunities up forward. Chincotta was 360, then ridden into the turf. And the umpire says, well, we'll call that a neutral ball. Murkov and Segler will have another go at it. Murkov, he really wanted the spike on that occasion. Ball ends up at the back. McLaughlin to run onto it. Just gets a handball to Caperon. Little ball into the path of Radaglia. Didn't hit him on the full, and so chance of it being taken away. Oh boy, there's stuff from the construction site flying away. Be careful. Here's Dow. His kick up the line is okay. Finds O'Brien. So O'Brien looking inboards. That's okay for Ma. They want to get the ball moving quickly here, the Blues, and they do. Inside 50 they go. The big fist coming in from Byrne. Sends that to the boundary line. And we'll have it tossed in. I don't think it was anything crucial in terms of the construction work over there, but just flying away.
Yeah, bit of OH&S issue going on here at Icon Park, but that will be brilliant once it's done. Of course, the home of the VFL Grand Final. Chalcraft paddling it forward, Nevitt able to pick it up. Caperon clears to the one-on-one. The kick was tailor-made for Lou, just couldn't bring it down, and Durden happy to see it over. Right in front of that construction site once again. Of course, I guess the Cats are used to playing at a construction site. They've got one of their own down at GMHBA Stadium at the moment. That one a pretty big one too. Plenty of works going on. As we throw it back in, Pitternet and Segler. Ball didn't get to either of them, and we might have to redo that.
It was a long way short in the end, but yes, talk about the players and struggling in the conditions. Was fair thought for the boundary umpires today. Yep. You have to do their best in these conditions. Oh, that ball's gone into the construction site as well.
Yep, so we might have another little bit of a delay while we wait for a footy.
Oh dear, we have to wait for this footy to come back. Someone's going to have to go and get that footy. One of the runners is going to help out, are they?
There we go. We've got a footy coming now from the Royal Parade into the ground. So,
well, that one will be donated to the good folk who are working on that when they get here Monday.
Yep. So someone will get a free Sherrod, which is nice. As Segler and Pitternet go at it again. Carlton will clear once again. Breaking away is Dow. Off to Hanley. High ball, indiscriminate. A quiz in the area. Hasn't held on to it. Here's Carl, always dangerous around goal. Left foot snap is bouncing through. Carlton gets its third and Ned gets his second. 3-1-19 to one behind. Late stages opening turn.
Oh, yeah, starting to some real warning signs for the Cats now.
Yep, dangerous around goal. Ned Carl, as you mentioned, 3 goals, 2 last week. He's now up to 21 for the year.
And 7 disposals for the game. Paddy Dow and O'Brien. Lockie O'Brien with 11 for the game so far.
For Geelong, Ben Lloyd's got 8. The general back there in defence. A host of Cats on 6, including McLaughlin, Narkle, Simpson and Stevens.
So Paddlers, I think, coming back into the ruck. Working up against Pitnet. As we mentioned, first game back for a long time, since round 6. But good to see him out there. Suspect he's going to be on limited minutes today. Dow. Chincotta. Ball inside 50. Akui. Good hands. Great mark. That ball was travelling at speed. He was travelling the other way at speed and met it beautifully. And line up and look to take the shot from just on the 50.
Yeah, he looks dangerous up there, Dom Akui. We've usually seen him playing in defence this year, but they've swung him forward now for the last bit of the season, and he's looking very dangerous up there at the moment.
Sure is. So he's going to take all the time that's going to be allotted to him. Dom Akui. 13 matches for the season so far. Only the 1 goal to his name, but as I say, spent a lot of time down back. Very deliberate approach. He's only chipped this up to the top of the goal square. Plenty of numbers for the Cats. Simpson was dragged down. No call from the umpire. They're battling in there. Sketty, one of those players. Weigel for the Cats. Oh, this is dangerous. Evans at the line. We'll have it tossed in. Now, I'm pretty sure that goal was against Footscray about a month ago. In fact, exactly
that night.
Exactly a month ago, I'll tell you. Note that time frame. Free kick. Now, is this going to be it's from the umpire, trailing umpire, I think. Is it going to be a Blues free kick? It is. Glass McCasker to take it. Was it something around the contest? I didn't pick up what it was for.
Some of those ruck free kicks are difficult to pick up sometimes.
Yeah, so in the end, it's going to be Jesse Glass McCasker with the free kick. And a chance to add the 4th for the Blues. kick on the way, looks good. It was all the Cats early on in this quarter, but as we tick down to quarter time, it's the Blues getting the job done. They've got their 4th on the board, and they are looking pretty good. A 24-point lead now, heading into the first change.
Yeah, that's right. They're just playing a little bit better at the moment, the Blues. They look more efficient going forward. The Cats have barely had it inside their forward half of the ground in the last 10 or so minutes. And you look at the names atop the disposal list, Dow, O'Brien and Will Setterfield. All first-round picks in the past. At the moment, just can't find their way into Michael Voss's lineup. And they're doing good things for the VFL Blues. Pitternet and Sapatolis to go at it once again. Sapatolis got first hands to it. Dow. Handball to no one in particular. McLaughlin won it, then turned it over by hand, and now the Blues are away. Dow, handball partially smothered. Dempsey ricochets to him. Sapatolis got it from Dalhouse. Here's Narkle. It's the unused Medisub last week in the AFL team. High ball from Sapatolis. Chafer underneath it. And that'll be the final act of quarter number 1 here at Icon Park, where it's Carlton 4-1-25, leading Geelong just the one behind. It's been all Carlton since the first opening 10 or so minutes of the term. The goal kickers, Ned Carl has 2 of the 4 for the Blues. Glass McCasker and Lockie O'Brien have the others.
Yeah, 13 disposals for Paddy Dow. Leads all comers to quarter time. Lockie O'Brien with 11. Will Setterfield with 9. The best for the Cats. Lloyd with 8. And some of the team stats to quarter time. The inside 50s, 15-8 in favour of the Blues. They're also leading the hitouts 10-7. Tackle count 19-10 in favour of the Cats. The other one's fairly even as we go to quarter time. So a 24-point margin here. It's a 25-point margin over at Arden Street. 22 minutes into the first quarter there. Richmond 4-3-27 leading North Melbourne 2 behinds. And it's three-quarter time up the road at Piranha Park. 10-15-75 Sandy leading Coburg 6-4-40. And approaching half-time at Box Hill City Oval, it's Box Hill 4-7-31 leading Werribee 4-5-29. Blustery conditions here at Icon Park. We'll take a break. Back with all the second quarter action very soon, live on the AFL app and afl.com.au. This is the Smithies VFL.
I don't even have a history radio, so I don't know how it just randomly showed up in my car radio. So I put it on, and it was you. Yeah. Yeah, and then I'd get home, I'd turn on Channel 9, and then you're there as well. Yeah. You can't understand my head. But yeah, no, it's I do, yeah, I just it does actually fascinating. It's just a difference between doing it for real versus very Jenny Marcos for a couple of minutes there and just listening in. So she gets to take a break at the end.
Where's it gone? I don't can't find it.
First carry for Amanda.
Yep, in the footy. Oh, it's gone over there. No, got back over the fence. I don't think that was a couple of minutes. I think so. It's like a bridge the footy.
That's what I think. I say no.
Probably about 20 minutes at half time. You and I will just run across the ground there and 6 minutes. We'll just turn the cameras off at half time. With a footy. Yeah, you do.
What are these two doing?
Shadowy figures trying to steal the footy. Person's giving young surprises scraps now, stealing footies. Oh, come on, Geelong, make this a game. Alright. So there we go. Why not? Wasn't that going to happen?
Quarter time here at Icon Park, and it is the Blues 4-1-25 leading the Cats 1 behind as the crowd leaving the arena. Peter Mercado, Michael Petrevski with you in commentary this afternoon through afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. Good to see a decent crowd in this afternoon here at Icon Park. I'm sure most, if not all of them, will be hopping on the tram or jumping in the car and heading down into the city to the MCG. Big game coming up between these two clubs in the AFL as well. Got plenty of action happening. Round 17 of the Smithies VFL competition. 2 games last night. It's Southport. Boy, they're building up beautifully, aren't they, Southport? 9-12-66 to Sydney 6-8-44. Fankhauser reserve. That would have been rocking up the Sharkies last night. Don't worry about that. And Frankston having a good season. 13-13-91. Knocking off the Northern Bull Ants 5-9-39. For Frankston, well, they're set at 6-8 as well. Maybe there's an outside chance of making the finals, perhaps.
Saw them against this very Geelong side a couple of weeks ago, Peter, down in Frankston, and they were very impressive. So if they're at their best, they can challenge anyone. Of course, the Cats, that was one of their 5 straight losses. Last week, much more competitive against the Casey Demons, but they were jumped in that one as well. It was 6-0 at quarter time as the second term gets underway. Dalhouse runs onto it. Has Nevitt for company. Fogarty applying the pressure for the Blues. Dow now jumps in. Somehow got rid of it. Narkle now has a go. Fogarty just handballed to Stevens for Geelong, who's taken to ground in a strong tackle by Moschetti. And the umpire says, my ball. So it's been muscled forward for the Blues. Pitternet and Segler to go at it once again. And we've got a free kick. High contact going to Pitternet. So he'll have a chance to launch the Blues inside forward 50, or he's got a couple of handball options. Takes Setterfield as the handball inside the pocket, but just kicks it straight to the opposing ruckman in Segler, and now the Cats a chance to repel.
Well, they are. They should be able to get out of trouble here. Stevens. Long ball. O'Neill hopelessly outnumbered. Here's Pitnet again. Handball over the top, Setterfield. Back out to Dow. Handball inside 50 is dangerous because they're just running out of options. Moschetti, one of those. And it is over the line. We'll have it tossed in. Right near Blues HQ. The first stage, I guess, of this redevelopment. Where I think it was the Heatley stand was. As trying to work his way through was Fogarty. Lost a handle on it. Nevitt will clear into space. Radicalea had front position, but here's O'Brien. Leading disposal winner on the ground. He's kicked forward. McCasker just worried out of it. And the kick goes short. And here's McLaughlin who's got it. On this outer side, we'll go across Schaefer, former NAB League player with the Falcons. Here's Bond. Late inclusion into the side. Was on the emergency list for Geelong today. Gets the call up. This ball going along back of the pack. Radovanovic, handball over the top to a player over the boundary. We'll have it tossed in. Should make mention too that Josh Honey not playing in this Carlton lineup despite being named. He's named as one of the emergencies at the MCG tonight. Suspect that he'll probably be the medi-sub today. Jed Buse and Cooper Stevens also named as emergencies, not playing in Geelong's VFL side this afternoon.
That's right. It was interesting when Jed Buse was named because his omission from the AFL team was classified as managed. So surprised to see his name there in the first place. As we get a secondary stoppage here, Nevitt over the top.
I suspect he's been managed out of the VFL side too.
Well, it would appear so. Interesting if he was going to have a break, he was going to play VFL, but I guess common sense prevails there. They love to keep us guessing the clubs. We've got a free kick for a block going against Ling and going to Will Setterfield. He's only played the 5 VFL games this year coming into this one, but going at 26 touches a game when he does play. Of course, he's been a solid contributor to the AFL program as well. Here's Fogarty. Marked his return with 27 and 7 tackles last week. He was run down there, did just get boot to ball. Now O'Brien has to put it on the boot, and Segler trying really hard to get to that one, but the big 31-year-old unable to. But it did pitch just inside the field of play. And it is the Blues leading by 24 points, just as they did at quarter time. 4-1 plays, one behind. Glass McCasker going into the ruck now against Segler. Of course, he's outmatched for size. McLaughlin got the quick kick away, and Zane Williams, picked 12 in the mid-season draft just a month or so ago. He's kicked 3 goals, 5 in his limited time as a Cat. Towards half forward, Neil's got a couple of Blues to contend with. Kemp at the fall of the ball. Chafer's on top of him. He is a relentless tackler. Mitchell Chafer made his VFL debut a couple of weeks ago, and that's why they love having him in the team, and he's forced a stoppage. So, Paddy Dow and Lockie O'Brien, 14 apiece. O'Brien's got a goal as well. Setterfield up to 12, and for Geelong, it's Ben Lloyd, Jackson McLaughlin, and Nick Stevens, all with 8 touches. I guess the concern there is that 2 of those are defenders. As we get a free kick for high contact, it's going to be Dalhouse to launch them inside forward 50.
They haven't had a score in this quarter yet, mirroring what we saw in the opening term. Took a long time to get a score on the board for either team. This ball drops short. Radovanovic takes the mark. Go a bit wider to our broadcast side, Setterfields. He looks up, doesn't see a heck of a lot in front of him, so he may have to switch to the outer side again. Thinks about that, then decides to just go long up the line. Plenty of numbers. A Queen flying from a long way back. He was 4 or 5 back. Made a good attempt at it, but Stevens got in the way. So the Cats again, an inside 50. They need to start getting some reward for effort here. And Setterfield again for the Cats, just doing the mopping up work. McGovern just throws a high ball up. Have a go at this one, lads. They fly in from all directions. Nevitt actually made a good fist of it. Here comes a Quee. Meets the footy nicely for the Carlton side. Across to Fogarty. There might be an overlap free kick advantage to be paid to Carl. Is there? No, the whistle keeps blowing. And I think this is going to have to come all the way back. Well, Carl was off there and he would have kicked a goal. You could almost be sure of that.
Yep, he wanted his third. Yep.
Anyway, wasn't allowed to play on. So he has to kick over the player on the mark. It's still in a dangerous position. Glass McCasker, not sure what that was. Aqui will run in and kick a goal. Didn't matter in the end. Aqui just took off. No Cat was around him. He kicks his first of the afternoon, and that was far too easy in the end. 5-1-31 plays one behind. We've gone almost 7 minutes in this second quarter.
Well, you'd have to think either way that goal was coming, whether it was going to be Carl running inside forward 50 or the way it turned out with a Quee running onto it. So Carlton again just starting to get a little bit of bang for their buck.
It almost looked like it almost looked like the Blues were at the other end of the ground, kicking to the other end.
Yep.
Because everyone just stopped. Akui was the only one running to goal. It was almost like that scenario. It happens very rarely, but the players forget which end they're kicked to.
Yep.
It had that sort of feel to it because no Geelong player was actually, getting around. Akui just strolled in.
Yeah, well, we talk about him flying before. He's the eternal optimist because he'll fly for anything, thinks he's got a chance at anything. But that time he stayed down and he was rewarded for it, running into the open goal. And the Cats have got some problems. Trail it by 30 points, still early in the second term. Murkov wins the clearance. Inside forward 50 to the one-on-one. Crocker was being held. And that's an easy call for the umpire. Matt Ling hangs his head, but he knows he did the wrong thing, and Crocker can make it 2 in a minute for the Blues.
And put his 30th goal for the season on the board. The leader in the Frost Stimula medal is actually Chris Burgess of the Gold Coast Suns with 38. So he's got a bit to catch up. Fergus Green, the next best at 34.
Yep, so he is trailing by a big number, but...
And add 3 more to that total for Fergus Green. He's kicked 3 today for Box Hill.
As Crocker comes in from directly in front, and he's made the goal umpire work just a little bit too much. Hooked that one a little bit. I think the breeze played a little role in that as well, but the Blues now 31-point leaders.
Gold Coast in action tomorrow against the Bombers down here at Windy Hill. Stevens will go short for the Cats. Works with Simpson. And will go short. This is Kate Shellcraft, who will just chip the ball over the top. Shellcraft to Shellcraft. Good to see the brothers combining. And he'll go in short to Lloyd. Lloyd, or as his teammates are calling him, Lloydie, in that inventive nickname style. Dempsey ends up on the end of it. He's a kick up the line for Jack Evans. We'll see the ball over the line. So, a bit of a stalemate really in this quarter, though the Blues, with just the 1 goal, the Cats just can't get anything going. This is going to fall well short again. And it's going to be Murkov who's got the tap down, but it's going to end up being a Blues ball anyway. So I'll look to, you can again hear the breeze picking up. It is going to make this kick an interesting one, because Mars' kick's not going to reach its intended target. It's going to fall short and Nevitt's going to take the mark. Now, can they get something going here, the Cats? There's not much happening inside 50. Nevitt's just going to park it up towards half forward. Going one-handed Durden. In a little bit of trouble. How did he release that ball? Umpire said fairly. Dempsey got the hands to it. Around the body north. Has coughed it up. Now an opportunity. McLaughlin. Handball, no look. Nicely done there by Williams. Eventually across the face of goal. Across the 50, and Lloyd's got it again.
Made that a little bit more difficult than it needed to be, but it looks like they are going to get the shot at goal finally.
Just decided to go around the Cape. And we'll see how this one shakes out. So Lloyd steps in from on the 50. And the kick, is it coming back? It is! His 2nd goal for the season. And badly needed first goal for the Cats. It finally comes in this 2nd quarter. They've played over 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes, and they've finally got a goal on the board. So 32 plays 7.
Maybe that can be the start of something for the Cats, because it just hasn't been going their way inside forward 50, and in the end it took the general down back in Ben Lloyd to kick their first of the day. They'll be hoping maybe to get a couple out of their forwards if they're going to have a chance to get back into this one. Nick Stevens up to 11 now for the Cats, and that was Lloyd's 10th disposal.
Like
Dempsey's got 9.
Radigalia going into the ruck here for the Cats.
Yeah, plenty of AFL talent in the ruck stocks today. Got Segler and Radigalia and for the Cats, and also Murkov and Pitternet for Carlton. So no shortage of quality in that department, and it's going to be the Blues winning the clearance through Fogarty. Piternet's inside forward 50, just stuck the one hand out, kept it in front of him, but made it a little bit too easy for the Geelong defence to get out of trouble. Cade Childcraft involved, and now here's Dempsey. Takes it in front of Kemp. Started the season like a house on fire, Ollie Dempsey. Got himself an AFL debut as well as a result. It's just slowed down a little bit in recent times as he pokes it short to Bond, who's going to launch the Cats inside forward 50 again. Over the head of the pack. The bad bounce, though, favoured the Cats. McLaughlin, Neal, goal. 2 in a row for the Cats. And McLaughlin was clever in making that happen.
A little bit of involvement there from some of the Blues defenders, but again, just weight of numbers pushing forward to that end of the ground. It's a scoring end in this game.
It often is here at Icon Park. It usually is. Of course, remember that grand final 3 years ago, that unforgettable one, Willie Wheeler, peppering the goals at that end.
Hit the post twice.
That he did. It's hard to believe that was the last grand final.
From 45 metres out, both, and he hit the. He wouldn't be able to do that twice in a row in his life if he was trying.
Oh no, probably not.
Anyway, Richmond ended up winning, and
one of the great games, though.
It was. Ball back in the middle. Murkoff getting the tap down against Radaglia, but Dalhouse to run onto it for the Cats. Starting to get a bit more out of the midfield here. A few more clearances. McLaughlin working Kemp. Did well. Now McLaughlin's got it back again. Jai Shellcraft ran into a tackle, ran out of trouble, ran back into it again. They kick up the line. Simpson will just work it back out. Byrne. They're going to have to just concede some ground. Back here, Simpson. Still on centre wing at the construction site. And that's out of bounds on the full. So a turnover, and Kemp to come in and take it for the Blues. There's a little bit of momentum here for the Cats midway through this second quarter. Hanley has it. Will go up the line. Kick not finding the intended target. Simpson's been in everything today. Good comeback from him so far. Tackled by one of the other players who's making a comeback in pit net. And we'll call that a 0-0 draw and toss it up.
Yep, 10 disposals for Simpson.
So Radaglia again to do battle, this time with Pitnet. Down to O'Brien for the Blues, going forward. McQueen comes out to meet it. Stevens for the Cats, and now we've got the clearing kick. Pitnet should have front position, and does. Nice mark with Dempsey bearing down on him.
Yep, he tried the spectacular Dempsey as Pitnet feeds it back to Handley. Kick was looking for a Quee, unable to hang on to it, and Simpson will clear for Geelong, but it's coming straight back. Murkoff, though, dropped the mark, did have time to gather. Give it off to Durden, but his kick ill-directed. Willis running onto it, but he's left it behind, and that's opened the door for the Blues. And Carl has taken the mark deep inside the pocket. He's going to give it off. Had the lead of Crocker, and he's got it even deeper in the pocket. Suspect he'll run around here.
Yeah, you think too. You talk about. Oh,
he does exactly that. Onto his right. He likes these situations, but just hooked it a little bit too much, Ben Crocker. And that's his second behind of the day. Carlton now leading it by an even 20 points.
Well, you'd think you have a bit more coverage there. The wind wouldn't be as bad in that pocket with the new development there. But decided to run around and play on anyway. Here's Cade Shellcraft, 23rd player for the Cats this afternoon. And he's just going to go with a wide sort of tumbler looking for Evans, Jack Evans. And we'll have it tossed in. Again, the boundary umpires pressed into service a lot this afternoon, particularly on that side of the grounds. This is the one where you do all the strength work because you've got to try and get this ball as far as possible. That's not a bad one, still going to fall short. Radaglia the front position, Pitnet at the back, managed to get the footy. Extracted it nicely. And the Blues can set themselves up again. Inside 50, Quay a long way back. I'm not sure exactly what he was trying to do. Murkov's the tall target. And we should have the ball thrown up. There we go. So working our way through the midpoint of this second quarter. A bit more competitive here from the Cats, but still, you think they'd love the next goal.
That they would if they could get 3 in a row to make things really interesting. But here's Fogarty up against the boundary line, and he's run over. Unable to get a clear disposal away.
Half time at Box Hill, 4:10:34. The Hawks leading Werribee 4-5-29. And 82 plays 59. Sandy leading Coburg 17 into the last there.
Yeah, plenty of big games going on in round 17 of the Smithies VFL. As Setterfield taken to ground in the tackle, and he's had it a long time. Umpire said did not make enough of an attempt. So that'll relieve some pressure for the Cats. Inside defensive 50. And they'll clear the area. Neil flew, but didn't end up getting a hand to it. On the ground, Williams. Centering ball is dangerous, but now they've got some overlap run here, the Cats. This is building up as a good passage. The kick held up in the wind for Ling. Hanley did well to get back, but his handball favoured McLaughlin, who can drive them into the pocket. Dempsey at the back takes a clever mark. And this is what Ollie Dempsey does best. One-on-one inside forward 50, and he'll favour himself from this spot in the pocket.
Yeah, against Durden there. He just outbodied him in the end. Could see where that ball was dropping. It was nicely done.
Yep, still just a slightly built teenager. Durden, a much more experienced body and much bigger as well, but he's a clever player, Dempsey. Takes a couple of steps to run around, and the finish just doesn't have enough curl on it. So a minus score for the Cats. The positive is they've evened things up a bit, but the margin still 19 points.
So Mitch McGovern to bring the ball back into play. His first game since round 2 in the AFL. He's had hammy problems. Good to see him back out there. Kick is short and effective, and we've seen both teams doing as they try and exit the 50. Whole bunch of short kicks. Lewis, short ball. Handley will now start to get some movement through the middle. It ends up with Setterfield, who takes a bounce. And we'll go long, looking for Crocker in the pocket. And this should go out. All on his own there in the end was Lloyd. Didn't have any company. He just sort of fell over the line. We'll have it tossed in.
Yep, Crocker actually stopped pursuing the ball to try and get a deliberate decision there, but
yeah, the
umpire wise to it.
Yep, the Cats player was sort of in front, so couldn't see what was going on behind. Referred pressure as this ball heads back into the middle of the ground, but it's going to come straight back in again. It's almost like we're playing kick to kick. Durden will kick a long ball. Tall target is Murkov again. Getting hands to it was Kate Shellcraft. No one's getting out of this in a hurry, and the umpire will toss it up.
So apart from a passage or two every now and then with some free-flowing footy, it's very much been a congested sort of game. Plenty of stoppages. One inside forward 50 for the Blues here. The Cats need to defend well. Weigel's laying the tackle. Glass McCasker not able to get out of his grasp. So again, inside forward 50 for the Blues. O'Brien and Dow have slowed down a little bit in this quarter. Will Setterfield's up to 16 disposals though as the Cats exit defensive 50. It's not a perfect exit, but it'll do. Stevens puts it on the boot and in front of Shannon Neal, but I think the wind carried that one a little bit, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Again, on that side of the ground, in front of the construction site. Do not envy that boundary umpire.
You hope that they've got a good rotation going on, the
They'd
boundary
have to.
umpires, because there's a lot of work on that side.
Yeah, might have a sore arm or two after the game. Carlton win this stoppage. Net concedes a little bit of ground, but they do go forward, the Blues, eventually. Murkov caught behind Weigel, did get the hand to it though. Now Carl's stuck in a problem. Setterfield inboard, can set things up. Disposal 17 coming up for him. Into the pocket, he's got Crocker on the lead, and he's taken the mark in that pocket once again. We'll see if he runs around again. He might just take his time a little bit though this time.
He's got protection, as I said, from the new development there, so that shouldn't be an issue, even if he is going to sort of go on the curve.
Which looks like he's shaping up to do. He did miss from almost this exact same spot.
want to keep it reasonably low.
Now it looks like he's lining up for the drop punt. So mixing it up a little bit here, Ben Crocker. The 2 behinds today, 29 goals for the season. As we did mention earlier, gains a little bit of territory, goes with the drop punt, and again misses to the near side. So that's 3 behinds now for Ben Crocker, but he is looking dangerous.
Simpson bring the ball back in for the Cats. Here's Segler. Short ball, Willis needs to meet it at speed. Did in the end. Juggler under pressure, did well. So the Cats draftee from last year finally getting a chance to play. Nevitt was just worried off the footy in the end. Get a good contest in the middle of the grounds, and Matty Dow is just being taken for a ride. Simpson just said, look, I'm just going to go with you, even if you are on me back. Pitnet getting the first tap down. Here's Dow. The ball out. Falls to ground. Muschetti, who's got plenty of time and space, and he just overcooks the kick. So Lloyd will just go short for the Cats. Gets the overlap run from Stevens. And a little 1-2. Working in the middle of the ground, Neal. Stevens again. Getting involved. Works it across to Shellcraft. That's Cade. Trying to keep it in was Williams. And we'll have it tossed in. So into time on in this second quarter. 34 plays 14. By the way, up at Arden Street. 4-3-27 Richmond leading North Melbourne 2-6-18. All the suburban grounds in action today. You love to see it.
Yeah, that is what we like to see. And there's going to be a game at Victoria Park in a couple of weeks' time as well. It's only had 1 or 2 of those so far this year as Nevitt pops it into the pocket. Radagalia 1-on-1. Doing well there was Lou. Had the smaller body against Bigasava, but did well enough and forces the stoppage.
I'm playing at Windy Hill tomorrow as well. Yep. So talk about all the old venues getting a run.
It's great to see. Think of all the history at all of these grounds. Great stuff in the Smithies VFL. Pitternet had front position, then left it behind. But his teammates are able to work it out. Lou, looping handball over the top. O'Brien, Fogarty, another sweeping handball, but now they're away. McGovern missed the target though, and now the Cats can bring it back the other way. Here's Childcraft, it's Cade. Inside forward 50 to the 1-on-1s. Neal had a piece of it. Bond lurking on the ground, so too Chafer. Still going. Bond lays the tackle. Chafer still in there, but the umpire calls for it. So it looked a little bit dangerous there, the Cats, but Carlton able to get back in numbers and just stop anything from happening. Pitternet wins it down again. Willis left it behind. Here's Ling laying the tackle. Dubious handball out of there, but we're letting it go. Now Dahlhaus has it. And Dow is going to be forced over the boundary line. Or he's going to have it held to him. One or the other.
It's going to be thrown up.
Yep. Deep inside that left forward pocket. Both rucks will need to be careful here not to hit it out on the full. Pitternet especially. Going up against Asava. Here's Nevitt. Thought about getting a boot to it. Now Dahlhaus confronted. Willis, inventive kick into the square. Chafer can't take it, and it's run over. And that's a rush behind for the Cats. They trail it now by 19.
Double twist with Pike, I think, to get that ball over the line. Very theatrical. So McGovern bring the ball back into play. Goes long. Murkov just creating the contest, bringing the ball to ground. And this is going absolutely nowhere. Simpson held up. Good tackling pressure. Murkov just wants to get the footy back as quickly as possible. Does a good job of it, actually. Muschetti. Short ball. Dow. So looks up. Thinks about going with a short option. Sanders was the short option. Instead decided to go to Carl, but that didn't work. So it's been turned over. Here's Simpson in the middle of the ground at Icon Park. His kick is short. Neal, a long way from home. Still inside the centre square. We'll look for Radagalia out on the lead. He's got a couple to beat here. He's tackled beautifully over the line. Well, that'll bring a smile to blue supporters' faces. Bigasava just taken over by Mitch McGovern. Well, that's a good sign.
Certainly
if you're a Blue supporter, it's a good sign.
Looking forward to having that man back.
Take my word for it. The crowd over there very excited. We've got a whistle. There's going to be a holding free kick here, and it should go the Blues' way. No, it's going to go the Cats' way. Shannon Neal to take it. Well, let's see if he can bring this margin back down. We're heading towards half time. 26 and a half gone, almost 27. And Shannon Neal, the chance to bring this margin down. They need this one. That is an understatement. Shannon Neal already kicked a goal from 48. Make that 2. 2 second quarter goals for Shannon Neal. Important goals for the Cats as we head towards half time. And he's done a good job down forward for the Cats across this season. He's got another on the board this afternoon.
Yep. Had kicked multiple goals in his last 5 games coming into this one, and he's kicked multiple goals in 8 of 11 games. We'll make that 9 of 12 now.
Yeah, he's going at 25-16 on the season.
And he's missed a few opportunities as well, but he doesn't need a lot of touches of the ball to get on the scoreboard. So he's done that well this year. Just a second year developing tall forward out of WA. So the Cats might have unearthed another little gem there. He's even cracked the AFL lineup already this year. Not something that tends to happen a lot with young talls, as we're back in the middle. Murkov running onto it. Spikes it forward. Here's a chance for Crocker running onto it. Caught in the tackle. Then turns it over by hand. The Geelong defence holding up well at the moment. Segler in the middle. Trying the spectacular there was Kemp, but on the ground it was all Geelong. Lloyd can drive them inside 50. Bond is there, so too Radagalia. Neither one takes it. Still looking dangerous here. Williams tried to barge his way through, and he'll win a free kick for high contact.
Gee.
The kamikaze approach from Williams has worked out.
Well, he did. He was the one that affected that contest. A bit unlucky there, Tyrese Liu, because he had his head down on the footy.
Yeah, not a lot he could have done there. Williams put the onus on him, I guess, and maybe that's how the umpire saw it. But this is something Williams has struggled a little bit with since joining the Cats. 3 goals, 5 in his short time as a Cat. That one is missing to the near side. So he's got 3 goals, 6 now in his 5 Geelong VFL games. And the Cats, they are getting closer. Margin now 12 points.
Cincotta to bring the ball back in for the Blues. Again favouring that outer side. Glass McCasker. Akui now has it. Little chipping ball. Hanley didn't quite reach the target. Here's Williams again. Really making a nuisance of himself. A couple of important touches for him. And now the kick inside 50. Neal's the targets. Almost brought it to ground. They had the chance. Schaefer was in his hands. He couldn't get the kick clear, and that is half time. Well, they had plenty of the ball, Geelong. They were knocking on the door, but they're still 2 goals down. The Blues kicking 1 goal 3 in that quarter, and Geelong having 3 goals 3 in that quarter, and it's 5-4-34 to 3-4-22. It's the Blues leading by 12 points at half-time. The goal kickers to half-time. Carl has 2. Singles to O'Brien, Akui and Glass McCasker. Shannon Neal has 2 for the Cats and 1 to Ben Lloyd. The leading disposal winners on the ground. Paddy Dow has 18 for the Blues. Setterfield also with 18. Lockie O'Brien with 17 for Carlton. And for the Cats, Nick Stevens has 16. Ben Lloyd has 14 as well. Some of the team stats to half-time. They're inside 50 count, 29-18 in favour of Carlton. They're leading the hit-outs as well, 23-17. Again, the Cats leading the tackle count, 38-23. The others reasonably even. Some of the other scores going on in the Smithies VFL this afternoon is going to be a win, and it is a win for Sandringham. 12-17-89. Sandringham defeating Coburg 9-7-61 in the game that's just getting back underway at Box Hill City Oval. It's Box Hill 5-10-40 trailing Werribee now, 6-7-43. They're 10 minutes into the third quarter there. And over at Arden Street, it is half-time. And it's Richmond 4-3-27. They didn't kick a goal in that second term. North did. They kicked 3 goals, 3. And they're now 3-6-24. So 3-point ball game at half-time. Earlier, it was a win for the Lions over the Giants. 10-16-76 to the Giants, 8-10-58. So that's a wrap of what's happening in the Smithies VFL half-time here. And it is the Blues leading by 2 goals, 5-4 to 3-4 against the Cats. We'll be back with the second half action soon here on afl.com.au and the AFL Live app. This is the Smithies VFL.
Not yet. Give that time. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm tempted to now. There's actually people over there.
Yeah, everyone's having a crack. Everyone's having a crack.
Someone's having a go in there. Yeah? What is that? Looking for that. Oh, don't go in there. Well, there was a building construction someone in 5 years over there who was looking around. I know, they're sort of searching around the area.
He just snuck in there and took it before he realised.
I suspect you can't.
If he put some of it. I mean, you're probably right. But
27. 27. And then it was 30 for 39. 27 for them.
yeah, they're not.
They got 40 coming up tomorrow. No, they're not. It's not big, but they're doing it tonight. Because they have 49. But the other thing, because there's never been a meeting. So we thought 20,000 for these old hours were paying the lots of in. Outside is fine, but also the trains don't have it as well, so it's only sort of wonder after commuting. And you sit on the train and it's boiling because there's no air conditioning otherwise than it's a window. No. Oh yeah.
We don't get the new ones. Yeah, we actually don't.
Sure.
No, we
Some
don't.
sort of representation.
No,
we don't get that.
No, we don't get the new ones. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's my local feel of independence.
Yeah, we're independent.
Well, that'll be the first thing.
Ah, yes.
That can be our first act in Parliament. Yeah, no, we actually, yeah, we don't get the new songs over there, so the only time I ever experienced them was when I came to the high school and I came to Xavier.
What part of the world?
Day in, day out. Oh, yeah.
Someone was standing there. But when they take that as people are listening to our commentary, not that they actually saw the ball.
No. How else? How else would
They
you
were
interpret it?
listening to us.
Of course they were. Is this someone new? I can't see this. I would have watched the last.
You on the track?
Oh, yeah, and there was,
That's the level.
yeah, and even though I wasn't playing, there was still a bit of water coming from the top. Because we're on the hill.
Yeah.
Every now and then, a couple of bits of water was like, okay, so, that's where I remember dodging that, or, tell you what, I like to see Bennett and Nudge work on the air conditioners.
Well, they do.
Well, Nudge probably did back in the day.
Yeah.
Nudge
You
did.
did the hard way.
Yeah, Nudge did back in the day.
Definitely. Outside tour. The marquee at the Swindon.
Yeah, they do that too. They
They're melting. Because they don't do air conditioning. They don't have any of that food. And then it's going to be 40 this week. That's exactly. Yeah, I'm so fine. They do heating great. They heating No. That's actually coming to body time. to find a facility? Yeah. Must be a scoring in there.
I think Sydney.
Everyone's searching for the footy. Right, we're going to do this. We're going to sit down and
The story of the game.
Two teams leading on. Yeah, you see that. Boundary on positive.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Out of side. What time? Where did you be, guys? Come on. Moving to Margaret.
I knew it already cost us all 6 for it. Didn't know we had didn't know it was 2 minutes ago.
22nd of June.
Whenever I'm in Queensland, I'll wake up and it's still like, I think it's like midday. But it's only happens to me all the time. I mean, I've been playing in Queensland for years. It's still every time.
Come on, 5 minutes, let's go. All right, so there we go.
So set for a start in the second half here at Icon Park. The lights are on. It's a 12-point lead to the Blues. 5-4-34, Geelong 3. 3 goals 4. So 5-4 plays 3-4 here at half time. We'll update you on some of the other scores in the Smithies VFL as we go along. But plenty to play for both of these sides as we head into the second half. Just repeating, a win for Sandringham over Coburg today, win for the Lions over the Giants, and a couple other games still in the balance. But let's get this second half underway, and here's Michael Petrevski-Seton.
So for the Blues, top 4 still very much a possibility, and for the Cats, they're almost playing for their season as Segler sends it forward. Williams playing in front, takes the mark. Almost copped the ball in the face on his return, but no harm, no foul. Stevens into the pocket, looking for the leading Neil, and he takes it out in front. That's a good start for the Cats. He just needs to put this through now, Shannon Neil.
Yeah, strong lead. Good sign of intent here. Remember, the opening 2 quarters, it took a long time for the first score of each quarter. We might have one within the first minute here.
That it did. It took about at least 10 minutes in each quarter just to get a score on the board either way. But the Cats going direct from the centre bounce. Shannon Neil, he's kicked multiple goals in almost every game this year, and he's got 3 today. And that's the start they needed, the Cats. The margin now just a kick.
And I'm sure Shane O'Brien would have been giving his team a hell of a rev up at half time. They're not that far away from it. The signs were there in the second quarter. And now they just need to go on with it. And how will the Blues respond here? As Peps mentioned, chance at a top 4 spot by the end of this round in the Smithies VFL in the offing.
Yeah, Werribee also playing for that at the moment.
Well, they're in front of Box Hill. And that
are.
match, they're ahead of our match as well, time-wise.
Yep, they've got about half an hour on us, and they're leading by 16 at the moment, the Tigers.
Well, let's see if we can catch up. As Fogarty for the Blues. The kick was direct. Oh, Massetti just coughed it up at the crucial moment. He wanted to go too quickly. Stevens getting through the traffic. Nevitz takes the mark. It's the Cats out of the blocks early here in this third term. And so Nevitt will go towards the 50, but the ball's going to be turned over north. Goes long. Akui needs to be good here. Oh, well done. Working hard there was Byrne, but he's turned the footy over. Crocker back into the middle of Icon Park. That doesn't hit a target either. Here's Williams. Been a live wire for the Cats. Nevitt. Handball over the top. Lloyd has got a bit of time and space. He can assess his options. Radagalia's out on the long lead. He'll want to kick this ball inside 50, but he can't. Good smother from Dow. And the Blues will come up with it. Out the back, here's Setterfield. Will kick to that outer side. They've got players in space. Sanders is one of those. Looks up. He's got an overlap player. That's McGovern. His kick is short. And working there was Segler. Got it across to Cade Shellcraft. He's kicked towards the boundary line. There's no one really out there, but we're going to have it tossed in.
But there is a construction site out there, and that's been the source of a lot of intrigue as the day's gone on.
Yeah, people have tried to get the footy that was kicked over there. Yep. I don't think anyone's managed to locate it yet.
We've seen a handful of people try their luck.
Yeah, we're on to you.
We certainly are. Taking down names and details. So if you get a phone call, don't be surprised. Here's Setterfield. Inside forward 50. Aqui's got a step on his opponent, but his opponent, Byrne, just read it better and used the back position to his advantage. Going up the corridor, the Cats, they look almost unrecognisable. Here's Williams again. Had a couple of touches to start this third term. Neil's found a little bit of space. Kemp came up to meet it, couldn't complete the mark though, and that's where play will come to a stop. We'll have a ball up just inside forward 50 for the Cats. The margin is just 6 points. They trailed it by 24 at quarter time, 12 at half time. And we've got a free kick in the ruck going against the Cats.
Holding free kick.
Yeah, so Pitternet off to Kemp. Now Akui, who's been impressive today, hasn't had a lot of disposals, but that lead-up forward role does seem to suit him. He gets it here from Fogarty under immediate pressure and didn't really have a chance there. Dalhouse got him. The Cats look to go aggressively and go quickly. Risky handball by Dempsey. Simpson works his way through the traffic nicely, but he kicked it into an opponent in Sanders. And now the Blues are away. Dow, Crocker, forced to backtrack a little bit. Now he's got O'Brien on the outer wing. Short lead offered by Glass McCasker, but Crocker kept running, and he'll be tired after that. He'll take a little bit of time. Dempsey following him as well. Now Crocker is called to move on. Searing ball into the pocket, and he could have picked out 3 Blues. Turns out Ma was the one to take it.
Yep, they ruffled it off for the enterprising start from the Cats to start off this quarter. Could all come undone here.
Yep, a couple of opportunities for the Cats. Shannon Neal took advantage of one of them, but they did have a couple of promising passages just come unstuck at around half forward. And now Xavier Ma, who kicked 2 goals last week from his 14 disposals, can make them pay. Wrong side for the right footer, about 40 out. It's across the face, and Segler makes sure of it. Just the minor score. 7 points now the lead, but the Cats have started this third term well.
Here's Stevens to bring the footy back into play for Geelong. Not sure what direction he wants to go in. He's thinking broadcast side. That's indeed what he selects. Looking for Segler. Murkov at the back. The bit of holding going on. It's going to be a Cats free kick to Segler. He's held up here. He's not sure which way he wants to go. So again, he's just going to have to go up the line. Neal's the taller target. Managed to get that ball to Graham Williams. Did well. He's been gang tackled and still trying to bullock his way through. He lost the footy. Now has to go back in and get it. And eventually the umpire will say, give it to me.
He's giving them something this quarter, Zane Williams.
Sure is. A nice pickup for mid-season draftee. Dow just trying to break clear. Had to get rid of that footy. Umpire said okay. Again, we'll have another stoppage. So Segler again just trying to get that ball to ground. Ball was left behind. Here's Willis. Did well. Bounced off a would-be tackler and then sends him inside 50. Radaglia went the slips catch. Couldn't quite bring it to ground. Here's Neal. He wants to just go with a short ball into the pocket. Williams, Dempsey, tight on the boundary line, trying to bring this footy back. No mark taken. We're right on the goal square. And no one's going to be able to get clear of this contest, you would think. And it should be a stalemate, and is. But the Cats looking dangerous early stage of this third term.
That they are, and Zane Williams is a big part of that. So too Shannon Neal. Top of the square for them. Carlton will get clear, but it's mostly Geelong in this area. Doing well, though, just to get it over the boundary line was Muschetti, the 23rd man. And that allows his team to reset in defence. As we throw it in, 60 around from goal for the Cats. They trail at 4-4-28 to 5-5-35. No scoring affair here in blustery conditions at Icon Park. Round 17 action in the Smithies VFL. Here's Willis. His first game as a Cat. Dalhouse over the top of it. Does get free though. And Hanley able to extract and long up the line from North. Akui has to contend with Caperon. The latter probably won the contest. Lloyd, prolific in the opening half. Now Kate Childcraft. Inside 50 once again, the Cats. In fact, not even, because he hit it off the side of the boot, and Dow able to intercept. His kick not much better though. Does get to Crocker on the bounce, and now the Blues are fanning to the outer side. Lewis, Setterfield, has Sanders short, goes beyond him looking for Carl. Mark not taken in defence for the Cats by Byrne, but it doesn't matter. They will get out of trouble as Caperon goes inboard for Stevens.
Yeah, finds him. Once again wants to go the short kick option. It's effective enough. Evans just getting the handball back out. And now they kick up the line. Dempsey has Cincotta for company. And will be tossed in again on that outer side. We're setting a world record for throw-ins on that particular side of the ground here at Icon Park this afternoon.
The intensity's definitely lifted, though. The Cats are playing a lot better early in this third term.
They're about to cross the 10-minute mark. Really, this is where the match is in the balance as McLaughlin just managed to get it away. Little hack kick inside 50. Neal just went without it in the end. Fogarty did well. Durden, Setterfield. And the kick is a good one. That's a good mark for Sanders. Under pressure. We'll just take a little bit of time. Pop this up towards half forward. Beats the initial pack. And there's going to be a free kick for a push out. McQueen just a little too crude on Caperon. And so, free kick to be taken at half back. Now, where are the options here? Caperon again looking. Lloyd in good position inside the centre square. Instead, it's Cade Shellcraft. Caperon will get it back. We'll go to Simpson. Simpson's got an option over the top. It's Evans. Now they're just going to maybe go short kick here. There's still options. Bissett turned in the middle of the ground. Dangerous. Well done, Schaefer. Managed to take the mark, and then he's off and works it to Williams. Probably too far out to score on the body of work we've seen today. He's going to go across the ground to Dalhouse. He has got some room. He instead lowers the eyes, looking for Dempsey, who's going to take a free kick, I suspect. Yep. Cincotta coming over the top. And he went too high, and Ollie Dempsey will line up and have a chance at his first for the afternoon. And a really important kick now in the context of this game.
That it is. Just a 7-point ball game at the moment. We saw Dempsey have a shot at goal in the second. Tried to go around the corner with that one, and the wind sort of carried it across the face of goal.
Yep. 10 goals for the season for Ollie Dempsey. Have a little bit of protection from the function rooms in Carlton HQ. Can he drag it back? He has! It's excellent. And it's a 1-point ball game here at Icon Park. Good contest, this one. 11 minutes into this third quarter. An important kick from Ollie Dempsey. And that margin is indeed just a point now here. Paddy Dow up to 23 disposals for the game. Will Setterfield with 23 as well. And Nick Stevens up to 20 for the Cats.
A lot of people keeping an eye on some returning stars today from injury. Mitch McGovern's got 9 disposals for the day. Piternet's got 10 to go with 15 hit-outs, and Sam Simpson is up to 14. So all the returning stars having an impact in their game, in this game today. And for the first time since the opening 10 minutes or so, the Cats are playing with some real verve, but this clearance is going to go Carlton's way through Fogarty, but he's hit that one straight to Stevens. He's been prominent across the half-back line for the Cats. They love the ball in his hands because he's a good long kick. McLaughlin out wide to Weigel. 28-year-old from Lara. McLaughlin again. Floating ball inside 50. Dempsey in front. Had it knocked away. McLaughlin can go again, but he left it behind, and now the Blues can try and turn defence into attack. Weigel did well, though, coming out to attack it, but he had 3 Blues to contend with, and the weight of numbers eventually won out. Carl's handball into the path of Sanders. Got rid of his opponent nicely. Crocker's 2-on-1, and a good spoil over the top for the Cats. I think that might have been Byrne getting back. It was, and through for a minor score. Cats are up for the fight here in the third term, but Carlton's matched the intensity as well, and we've got a good game on our hands, just 2 points in it.
Yeah, you can pick this one out as potential to be match of the round. It's living up to that so far as Stevens, again, goes short. They look to exit 50 on the broadcast side. Evans just goes short, needs to chip it and does to Cade Shellcraft. Got his brother as a short option here if he wants him. Like most brothers, it's ignored. As this kick goes long, up the line, trying to get through Lewis. Eventually coughed up the footy. Schaefer. Kick over the top, needs to be precise. Well, it's just hacked onto the boot there by Bond. And now in space is Neal, who could have just kept running on. Instead, he decided to have the shot, and he's pushed it across the face and out of bounds on the full. Dear oh dear, he had more time than what he thought there.
Yep, had a rare moment inside forward 50 where he didn't have a defender draped all over him and just didn't sum that up the way he would have liked. Shannon Neal, and a golden opportunity goes begging for the Cats as Carlton through Lou work it out along the outer side of the ground. The Rucks will contend. Murkoff's claiming the mark and the umpire agrees, and now Murkoff wants to take it on. He's run himself into trouble. Did get it back to Hanley, and now Setterfield composed. And he's able to find Pitternet at half forward. Hanley kept running, has a quee short, wants to go more central and long. Ma had it thumped away. Still a chance here, the Blues. A small forward's going to work. Dow's in there. Geelong defence under all sorts of pressure. Moschetti grabs it. Dow in the pocket. Here's Crocker. Needs to be creative, but Stevens makes sure he can't do anything with it. And we'll toss it in.
Sam Simpson might have copped a poke in the eye, actually. Just sort of looking at him. He took a long time. He was sort of down on the turf. He's okay. Now just running back into the contest, but just checking himself. I think it was completely accidental, of course.
Setterfield up to 26 disposals now to lead everyone out there on the ground. Dangerous spot here for the Cats. They've got to defend. And they've done okay from the initial stoppage, but we'll get another one. Murkoff growing in confidence each week. Wouldn't have seen him take on a player like that a month or two ago. Here's Fogarty, snap, but he's missed it. Almost something out of nothing there for Carlton, but Fogarty unable to bring it back far enough. The margin 3 points now, and it'll be Stevens to bring the ball back into play.
It's the midpoint of this third term here at Icon Park, and short kick is on. Here is the aforementioned poke in the eye recipient, Simpson. Work with Stevens again, goes in the middle of the ground into this big pack of players. It's Jai Shellcraft this time to get onto it first. Going to the line, Stevens only had one intention. He just waited till it just floated over the line, then just pushed it over.
You can tell that man is a career defender.
Yep. Yeah, can get creative with these things.
Yep.
Anyway, let's see what comes of this. There's a bit something going on here in the ruck contest. And looks like Murkoff was screaming for the free kick against Segler, and he'll get it as well. So Murkoff wants to be precise. Crocker! Good mark. Found him on the long lead. Just dropped the ball, was weighted nicely. And Crocker will have the chance to actually get on the goal sheet for this afternoon. Hasn't kicked one yet.
Yep, 3 behinds in the second term, so he's had a rough go of it so far, and that was a really good field kick from Murkoff as well. He really is improving each and every week. It's been probably a couple of months since I've seen him now, and he is certainly improving a lot.
So he'll come in now in the conventional sort of drop punt style. Just inside the 50. And that looks good. Crocker with his first important goal for the Blues after the Cats have done most of the attacking in this quarter. And, well, they just give themselves a little bit of distance on the Cats. 6-7-43 plays 5-4-34.
Not too much of a celebration there from Crocker either. More of a just hanging the head back in relief. He's missed a couple he'd usually kick today.
Some score updates too. They're 10 minutes into the final quarter of Box Hill, and it's Werribee 10-12-72, leading Box Hill 6-11-47. And in the other game that's aligned with ours, 21 minutes into the third term, And it's Richmond 7-7-49 leading North Melbourne 4-7-31.
Looks like there might be a scoring end at Arden Street today. Just as we've had a scoring end in this one as well. Pitternet got first hands to it. Dow couldn't handle it initially, then did. McLaughlin was there to meet him though, and he's taken strongly. McLaughlin had a great size disadvantage, as he is against almost everyone, I guess, but did well there to lay the aggressive tackle. Ma tried to get it to Dow. Nevitt was dragged off it. Childcraft then came barging through. In he goes again. Now Segler tries to clear the area and does it successfully. Dempsey inside forward 50 to the one-on-one. Sapatolis did well with Kemp for company. Here's Zane Williams from the confluence of the 50-metre arc and the boundary line. Centering kick not marked, and Chafer gives away the free kick. Got right into the back there, Chafer. Just needed to be a little bit more measured in his approach. Fogarty will gleefully take that free kick and get the Blues out of trouble. Here is McGovern. And he pokes it to Durden. Another one who's back from injury today. Suffered a knee injury in his first game for the AFL Blues a few weeks ago against Richmond. And now Blues playing it slowly on the outer side of the ground. High ball towards half forward. Akui read it well, but just couldn't drag it in at the last moment. Kate Childcraft taken over the boundary line. So it's 6-7-43 to 5-4-34. Ned Carl kicked 2 goals in the first term for the Blues. Shannon Neal's got 3 of the Cats' 5. And as we toss it in once again, Segler at the back, only as far as Setterfield, coming up for disposal number 27. Spun out of trouble beautifully, almost got it back, but the centering kick instead. Glass McCasker brought it to ground, and we're going to have a free kick. Going against the Blues, is it? Or no, it's going to Glass McCasker. Advantage not paid by the umpire. So Jesse Glass McCasker is going to have a chance to put Carlton up by 15 points.
Well, just starting to restore the balance of what we saw at half time in terms of the scoreline.
Yeah, we're into time on now, third term. Blues led it by 24 at quarter time, 12 at half time. The Cats got to within 1 earlier this quarter, but Jesse Glass McCasker can extend the lead back out to 15 from only about 30 out, and he's hit it high and he's hit it wide. Just missed it across the face, and let off there for the Cats. Margin now 10 points, 44 plays 34.
We'll bring the ball back into play. Into time on in this third term. Cats, you feel, just need the next one. Build some momentum heading into the final quarter. Blues have hit back nicely. Oh, that's a strong mark to Kemp. Sticky hands, did well. And look like they're going to come straight back inside 50. Maybe via the boundary side as North has it. And we'll kick long. Again, big pack inside this 50. Ball bounces. Luding Simpson had to go back in and get it again. Got the numbers. The Cats, you would think, but nicely done by Dow just to hold it in. Simpson, Williams, kick long again. Kemp. Two great marks in about 30 seconds. Keeping the Blues in attack. This time, he'll go up towards the top of the goal square. Glass McCasker's caught at the back. And that is Cade Shellcraft who takes the mark. Front position for Geelong. They just need to get something going. There's no one forward of centre for either team here. Forward of centre for the Cats. So it means that they're going to have to wait for the numbers to come back. And it might happen here because Nevitt has front position. The ball just drifted towards him. Lou did well to try and make up the ground, but he couldn't. Now they break. But still no one really wanting to get forward. Stevens was just the drive-by. Kicks up the line, and Neal's been held. Are they going to play on? Yes, they're going to take the advantage. Dalhouse, little chipper. Nicely done for Radigalia, who will line up and have the shot. And as I said, an important kick. The margin is 10. Heading towards three-quarter time. Blues have added just the 1 goal. 1 goal for the Cats. 2 goals. Now the chance to make it a third. So Sava Radaglia named as an emergency for the Cats AFL team this evening. Oh dear. Well, if you were playing golf, you'd be nowhere near the green.
Yep, might call that one out of bounds. You might have to drop the ball and have another go. Something I'm pretty used to, unfortunately, as Hanley brings it back into play. Ball eluded everyone in the pack. Simpson at the back. He's met solidly by Glass McCasker. He rolls him to the turf and forces a ball up. So the margin remains 10 points. Late stages now, third term. The Cats have had the better of the quarter, though. Kicked 2 goals to 1, but here's a chance for the Blues once again. North. Murkov one-on-one with Weigel. Did well, did Weigel, and now the Cats can break away. Lloyd's kick dangerous, but McLaughlin stood up in the challenge and able to get it to Willis. Radaglia one-on-one. Only stuck the one hand up. Durden did enough defensively, but Radaglia kept going. Barged his way through. Got it to Chafer. His kick, though, partially smothered by Hanley. The Blues are hanging on at the moment, and Glass McCasker has it with numbers up ahead. If he turns and goes, which inexplicably decided not to. Now he goes to the one-on-one. Murkov has the reach. Doesn't have the ball, though. Simpson did enough. He'll rebound to Weigel. And here's Radaglia.
Yep, who's got it now? He needs to get to his feet. He needs to look up and see some targets. His one-on-one's up the ground. And I'll just poke it in low. Did well in the end. And Bond has it. Called to get on with it. His kick over the top finds McLaughlin. I'd say a little bit too far out to score, but he's looking for an option inboard. None forthcoming. So he'll just go long. Top of the goal square. Neal's got it! Had a couple around him. But he stuck the mitts up and it landed nicely for him. He's got 3 goals this afternoon. And this will bring it back to a 4-point ball game in the shadows of three-quarter time. Very deliberate approach. 15 out. Goal. 2 in the second, 2 in the third. 4-point ball game at Icon Park. And while we've got the opportunity, let's quickly go around the grounds because it's closing on three-quarter time over at Arden Street. It's Richmond 7:9:51 to North Melbourne 5:7:37. And heading into time on final quarter over at Box Hill, it's Werribee 10:14:74 leading Box Hill 8:12:60. Earlier a win for Sandy over Coburg and also a win for the Lions over the Giants.
So the Cats have kicked 6 goals today and Shannon Neal's got 4 of them. It's been dangerous up forward. They just don't have anyone who's quite big enough to go with him, Carlton, in defence. Tyrese Loue battling manfully, but is giving up a few centimetres to the big cat. Back in the middle. Neither ruckman got a hand to that, and that's going to be a block. Free kick goes Geelong's way. Childcraft just caught in 2 minds initially, then swung onto the left, sends it forward. Dempsey decided not to jump. Might have not been the best decision because it was all Carlton. McGovern took it. And the siren sounds for three-quarter time with Fogarty in possession for the Blues. And we've got a good finish coming up. It's Carlton 6-8-44, leading Geelong 6-4-40. The Cats kicked 3 goals straight in that third term to the 1-goal-4 for Carlton. And it's all set up with a 4-point ball game at the final change. For the Blues, Ned Carls kicked 2 goals. Aqui, Crocker, Glass McCasker and O'Brien have the others. And for Geelong, it's been a one-man band up forward. Shannon Neal's got 4. And Ollie Dempsey and Ben Lloyd have kicked the other ones. As we have a look now at the player stats for the Blues. Will Setterfield's been everywhere. He's got 28 disposals. Paddy Dowd next up with 25, and Lockie Fogarty has 21. And for Geelong, Nick Stevens, 27, followed by McLaughlin and Simpson with 19 apiece.
And the team stats inside 50s 41-29 in favour of the Blues. Hit outs 32-19. Still the Cats leading the tackle count and the marks 75-59. And the other stats pretty even as we head into three-quarter time. Big finish coming up. It's a 4-point lead here for the Blues. And at the other game, it's a 14-point lead to Richmond over North Melbourne at three-quarter time. And a 20-point lead to Werribee over Box Hill. They're 21 minutes into the final term there. Big final quarter coming up. Stick around. Plenty more still to come. This is the Smithies VFL Live on afl.com.au and the AFL app.
Well, not anymore. We did. No, we did. No, because I know there was a period where I was just getting some of the wrestling, and then for whatever reason that stopped. And then, I don't know. What we thought they might have been some special service or something. yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one where the tab sounds like it's going to fly up. So if you're going to use it, well, yeah, that's why I didn't want to go there. I don't even bother with the hot water tap. Oh, it's real old style, some good. It's all the water. That's the way it's meant to be.
Alright, so there you go. Alrighty. Here we go.
Final quarter about to get underway. It's a 4-point ball game. And it's the lead to the Blues, 6-8-44, Geelong 6-4-40. Lights on here at Icon Park. Beautiful view of the city, of course, from this ground. 1-goal ball game at Box Hill City Oval, by the way, if you're following along. The Hawks, well, they might just sneak a win or at least a draw there. We'll see how that one plays out. Well, let's see how this one plays out. It's a 4-point ball game heading into the final term.
Plenty of great action going on across the Smithies VFL in round 17, and this one's shaping up as one of the better games of the round so far. Neither ruckman got a hand to that one, so an inauspicious start to the final term. Segler does extract though, but he threw it according to the umpire. So first clearance goes Carlton's way. Murkoff fed it back to Hanley, who just kicked in front of the pack and no one actually got to it on the full. So danger signs now for the Geelong defence. They're forced to tackle and they've done it well. They can force a stoppage. So it was Carlton by 24 at quarter time, 12 at half time, and 4 at three-quarter time. Segler almost misses his boot. McLaughlin able to get it off to Cade Charlcraft. Here he is. It's been impressive today in defensive 50. Of course, Jai's younger brother. Jai's been one of the excellent players for Geelong this season. Might almost be leading their BNF. Chafer. Zane Williams taking the ground. Good mark running back with the flight of the ball, Jai Charlcraft. He's got it about 65 out. Radagalia's in a one-on-one, but he's just wobbled that towards half forward, and it wasn't touched off the boot. The mark will be paid to Neil.
A big kick this one early on in this final term. It's hard to say, and it's unbelievable to say, but I think the breeze has picked up.
Yep, it has, and that'll make this kick all the more difficult for Shannon Neal. He's kicking for his 5th goal of the game. And Geelong's 7th, and not to mention this will put him in front. So massive kick early in the final term. Shannon Neal is going to have to absolutely hammer it. And he's done that, but it's holding up. It falls well short, in fact. Durden couldn't mark it, but he did lay the tackle to get Dempsey over the boundary line.
Box Hill in front now over at Box Hill City Oval by a point against Werribee. 29.5 gone there. They picked the last 3 goals of that game. Ball's tossed back in. Radagalia. Pitnet working. McLaughlin. And there's going to be a free kick. I think it's going to go the Cats' way. It is to their captain. So McLaughlin. Chance here. 7-point ball game, by the way, over at Box Hill.
Yep, Fergus Green just kicked his 6th goal.
Chance to put them in front. Early stages of this final term. Remembering that Geelong have lost their last 5 games in a row. Important here with some good matches for them coming up the back end of the season. McLaughlin. He's kicked it. And they have indeed hit the front. So a 2-point ball game in favour of the Cats. Early stage of this final quarter. McLaughlin with his first of the afternoon. Important one for them. As we mentioned, Geelong have the bye next week. Then they've got Coburg and Sandringham both at home. They play Box Hill away. And then they've got Port Melbourne in round 22. And for the Blues, they've got the Giants at home next week. Then Williamstown away, the bye. Then they play Casey and then Collingwood. It could hinge their top 4 prospects hinging potentially on that Collingwood game in the final round here. Or potentially at the MCG. We don't know yet.
No, we don't know yet. That round 22 fixture to be confirmed at a later date. And the Cats have taken the lead for the first time since around the 10-minute mark of the opening term. They've got all the momentum at the moment. Here's Fogarty trying to put an end to that. Ball towards half forward. Pitternet aggressive lead. Copped a push in the back from Byrne. He wants to go quickly. The Cats have gotten back in numbers, so Cincotta needs to think his way through this. And, well, he kind of went with the chaos ball towards the pocket. Setterfield grabbed it off the bounce, but not able to go anywhere. He's wrapped up immediately. They're led by as much as 31 in the second term, Carlton. It's 33-2 at that stage, 32-1 I should say, as ball's touched over the boundary line, and that one's in the construction side as well.
We should be able to find that one. That's a little bit easier to find, but no one's going in to get it.
Yep, some people probably make a beeline for that after the game. We've had people lurking around that area for most of the day, in fact. It's certainly been one of the more entertaining storylines here today. But we've got a pretty good game of footy, and at the moment it's the Cats leading it by 2 points, 46-44. But Carlton are in attack. Murkov versus Segler. The volleyballer wins it down. Fogarty tracking it, lost it. Byrne will be happy to see it over with Dow next to him. So the Cats trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Carlton had a bit of a mixed run themselves. Started the season really well. They were 5-1, and then that miracle at Skybus happened, and they've been pretty patchy since then. Just 3 wins, 4 losses since that game. Maybe a chance here. Ma does extract. Here's a left foot banana on the run, but it's into the behind post and out on the full. So ball to be brought back into play for the Cats. Looks like McLaughlin.
And it's a win for Box Hill by 7 points. A 6-2 final quarter sealing the deal for them. They win it by 7. That opens things up a little bit here for the Blues if they happen to get the W today. Stevens.
They'll be top 4 if they win tonight.
Just balks around his opponent. Handball for Dalhouse, who's got a little bit of time and space. Not much of it, though. Had to get rid of it. Hanley was on his hammer. And now the Cats, they just can't find anything forward. Dempsey, there's a holding free kick, which will relieve some pressure because the Blues had locked down. Ling, Short, Stevens. Oh, ball up the line's not great. It's going to be chopped off by Kemp. So he stands in the position. And Kemp will go across the ground. Durden at Neil for company. Ball back to Lewis. Works it across to Setterfield. Still at defensive 50, going wider, looking for Croquet. Fumbles at the crucial moment. We'll have it tossed in. 58 plays 43, by the way, over at Arden Street. 8 minutes into the final term there. Richmond hanging on. With North Melbourne kicking with the breeze in the final term, we believe, over there at Arden Street. Back here, though, the Cats with their noses in front. Pitnet, second, third effort. Segler went through his hands. Setterfield. Dow. Back to Setterfield. Just throws it onto the boot and turns the footy over. So a little bit untidy from both of these teams. And it's Shellcraft again. Cade's got it.
That was a good mark because it was a difficult floating ball to read in the air, but Did well to take it, the younger Childcraft, and he finds Simpson on the outer side of the ground. It's been impressive in his first game of season 2022. High up the line, Neil will contest for Geelong, but the big fist came for the Blues and it's out of bounds. So just some numbers on Sam Simpson. He's got 19 disposals today, 7 marks. So it's been a busy day for him. His first appearance at any level this season. And Mitch McGovern and Mark Pitternet have also been prominent in their return games. Pitternet's got 12 disposals and got himself an extra hit out there as well, but unable to get it to an opponent. And now the Cats are inside 50. Williams one-on-one with McGovern and he held him. So Mitch McGovern to take the free kick. This will be his 12th touch of the day.
Do you call that a successful return?
Absolutely. No setbacks or anything of the like. Called to move it on. And he does up the line to a contest. Weigel at the back position. Akui comes to meet him, but Weigel did keep it in and now it's taken over. So another boundary throw in. We've had plenty of stoppages today. That's why the ruckman have been able to knock up plenty of hit-outs. But we'll toss it in outer side of the ground in front of the construction site.
Where a number of Sherrans have ended up. So Pitnet over the top. Here's Setterfield. Back to Pitnet. Kick into the middle of the ground. Goes over the head of Sanders. Crocker, the first player in to get this footy. Just sort of trying to tap it to advantage. Not necessarily for North, but did well just to lock the footy in. Just to neutralise the contest. McLaughlin thought he was coming off the ground. Instead, he might just be pressed into action here. Went through Dempsey's hands. North again. Chincotta will look to go just wider for Setterfield. Now the long kick comes in. Inside 50. Akui did well just to make up that extra ground, even get to the fall of the ball. Crocker, boundary line. And that's what will happen again. Another boundary throw in on that outer side. It's where most of the play has been this afternoon. And I think we'll see plenty more action over the far side of the ground as the lights start to take some sort of effect here at Icon Park this afternoon. It's been a good contest, an interesting contest. Holding going on. Free kick will go to Radaglia. Now, he's got Stevens running alongside. The kick is long. And it's going to go through Shellcraft's hands. In fact, it's Lewis out there for Carlton. We'll have it tossed in. So, a 2-point lead to the Cats. A low-scoring final term so far.
Yeah, they've got the only goal of the quarter so far, thanks to Jackson McLaughlin. Okay, from the lead for the first time since early in the first quarter. They extract again here, the Cats. Nevitt's kick partially smothered. Ricochets into a contest. And numbers on top of it. Umpire circling. No effort to get rid of it was made. And the free kick will go Carlton's way. Chincotta it is. Forced to evaluate his options before picking out Setterfield. He's missed the target badly there by foot. Radaglia able to grab it, and here's Ling. The Cats turning defence into attack. Williams needs to be quick, was quick enough. Here's Ling again. They want to go through the middle. Evans spots Dempsey fanning out wide. He's got him. Sapatolis is on his own. Dempsey just needs to get it there. He did that, but the big ruckman dropped the chest mark. Shot it off to Dahlhaus instead. Centering kick. Chafer's in the area. So too Bond. Those two combining sounds like a bad product review. But it's going to be a free kick to Chafer.
Did he have all of that? Did he have all of that?
Did he pay the mark or did he pay the free?
He paid the mark.
He's paid the mark. Interesting.
I'm not sure he had all of that.
Yeah, he didn't
had
have
some of it.
Didn't have it for a long time, Bond. Chafer, I should say. Got myself confused. But from the top of the square, Chafer puts it through. And the Cats now lead it by 8 points at Icon Park.
Well, no umpire in best position. We're miles away from the action, but anyway, it's in the book as a goal, and it's the Cats setting the tone. So, again, you sort of throw back to the Blues here and say, what are they going to do? They do have the ability to score quickly. It's been the centre contest, which has been the real sort of interesting part of today.
And that was the Blues' bread and butter early in the game. They were dominating in that area of the ground, but since then, the Cats have, at the very least, been able to even it up and won a few themselves, and it's allowed the likes of Neal and Dempsey and even Chafer up forward to get working.
9-point lead to the Tigers. That's Richmond over North Melbourne over at Arden Street. They're 15 minutes into the final quarter. We're a little bit further behind, only by about a couple of minutes. So important contests, each of them from here. Murkov did well, but Radaglia got the better of it. It fell to Dow, works with Fogarty, whose kick inside 50. Will find the target. No, Glass-McCask got hands to it. But here's Simpson for the Cats. They might get some run. Dalhouse back to Simpson. No, intercepted nicely by Fogarty. Should make the pay. He goes a little chippy ball. I'm not sure who to. But anyway, it'll eventually find the target, Carl, who's just been forced further and further back. They need to be clean here, the Blues. McGovern dragged down to the tackle. The umpire says didn't have time to get rid of it. So we'll have it thrown up just forward of centre for the home side. And now Ling got it out to Simpson for Geelong. Up towards half forward. Radovanovic, a good mark from him. A chance to set the Blues running again.
That was an excellent one-on-one mark there from Radovanovic, and the Blues in trouble at the moment. Even that was a dangerous kick to Lou. The Cats just have all the run and all the momentum right now. And Lou again, risky kick, but Hanley able to take it sliding on his knees. Doesn't have a lot to go to now though, so he's going to have to go long to a contest. A Queen needs to go against a couple, and he's given away the free. Caperon took the mark anyway. In fact, no, it's going to Aqui, the free kick. So that changes things. Top of the square, numbers with the Cats. None of them decided to take it, but they thump it out of danger. And now McLaughlin has a paddock. Gave it to Ling, who loves to run and carry. Ran a long way, then shot it off to Nevitt. Now the Cats are going forward with some speed. The kick, though, not a great one. Over the head of Neal, who's forced to tackle. Did really well, but Lou able to get the handball out to Kemp. Now McGovern and Chincotta. Blues going the other way, but that's turned over. Burn.
Has the mark. Look up and not see a heck of a lot that he likes. The Blues having to lock down here. As the kick, well, falls short. In the end, McGovern, Setterfield. Handball over the top. They got some run from Sanders. Sanders kick. Oh, needs to drop in short. Carl, he got hands to it, couldn't complete it. He might get on the end of it anyway. Important kick coming up. Carl around the body. No, he's missed it. He's missed it. The margin is 7 points here at Icon Park. We're at the midway point of this final term.
Yep, 16 minutes in. Kicked 2 goals in the opening term, Carl, but hasn't been cited too often since. Stevens pokes it short for Weigel, who had to take that at full stretch. Caperon slipped at the worst possible moment. Dow, Aqui, it's opened the door for North, who strolls to 45 and keeps the Blues in it. That's the one Carlton needed. Back to a 1-point game at Icon.
Yeah, huge goal. Huge goal. Gosh, Caperon. If only he could keep his feet. But you got to capitalise on those opportunities, and the Blues did. By the way, 8-point ball game over at Arden Street. Richmond hanging on, heading into time on over there. But here's where the story is. We've got the close one.
Yep, in a day full of close ones, we've got the closest of them all.
So 1-point margin. Blues just getting themselves sorted in the middle of the ground. I think everyone to sort of get back into position with the 6-6-6.
Mitch McGovern's been swung forward for the last few minutes.
Oh, at least 10 minutes to go here. Plenty of time for either team. Murkoff decided just to stay down in the end. Probably a sensible move because he's the one laying the tackle on Segler. Segler, first, second, third efforts to try and get that ball away. Eventually it's cleared. Moschetti gets it up towards centre half forward, but here's Simpson. He's been great all day. The kick effectors Josh Shellcraft, and there's a free kick going away from the Cats for a push out. It's a long ball from Schaefer, heading into the pocket, and running onto it is Dalhouse, but he can't keep it in. Last remnants of sunshine here on this Saturday afternoon. It's been a windy Saturday. No rain though, which has been a good thing. That'll probably come as we walk into our cars. Yep. Always the way.
Absolutely.
See this ball thrown in. Patola's just caught at the back. Shellcraft. Ling. Oh, finger tipper for Evans, but he can run on. Here he is from 48. Oh, he jumped for joy as well. What a celebration too. First of the afternoon. Usually it's another Evans kicking goals for the Cats VFL side, Francis. But Jack gets it done and extends the margin out again. It's 7 points as we head towards time on in this final term.
Just his third for the season, Jack Evans, and it's been a low-scoring game, but it's been a close one, and, well, almost into time on. We are set for a fascinating finish. The Cats playing to keep their VFL season alive, but if the Blues are able to win this one, they'll be in fourth place. So plenty on the line for both sides. Round 17 of the Smithies VFL season. Pitternet and Segler. Pitternet won it down. Ma, what have the Blues got in response? Hanley got it off quickly. Ma explodes away from the congestion. Takes a second bounce. 50 out. He won't get a goal with it. Gets it towards the full forward, but coming away with it for the Cats and just clearing the area. Chincotta now on the end of it. Kick was a good one out to Setterfield. Just put some air underneath it and let Setterfield run underneath it and take the mark. Inside 50 again, the Blues. McGovern. Byrne did well, but it's all Carlton on the ground. Carl, here's a chance. Sanders will run into the open goal. And the margin again, 1 point, thanks to Oliver Sanders.
Yeah, just weighted numbers again for the Blues. Told you they could score quickly. And we've just seen that in action. Oh, this is an interesting contest now. Into time on in this final term. Which way is it going to go? We're sort of going goal for goal now. We haven't had for the whole game, really. Around the grounds, an 8-point lead still to the Tigers over North Melbourne. That's Richmond, of course, Tigers. North Melbourne earlier, Box Hill running over the top of Werribee. Win 2 for Sandringham over Coburg. And the Lions, Brisbane, having a win over the Giants. Ball back in the middle. Every contest so important in this final 10 minutes at least of the game. And Pitnet does well, just grabbed it out of the ruck. Sending it ball high. Stevens the front position, Fogarty behind him. And the boundary line, as it has done for most of today, winning out on that side of the ground.
Pitternet's going to sit a kick behind the play here for Carlton instead of contesting this stoppage.
We'll keep you updated with the numbers for him and also Mitch McGovern as this one is tossed in. Glass McCasker doing the ruck work up forward. Ling. Oh, shot the handball out. Stevens has to be good and is. Little chipping ball into the path of Dempsey. Going to be paid the mark. Just slow things down. That's mainly because there's not a lot happening up ahead. He's just going to hurl the ball, throw it onto the boot and expect Neil to do a bit of heavy lifting against that player in pit net. It's right near the line. We'll have it tossed in.
Just the numbers for those two, Peter. McGovern's got 14 disposals, 3 marks, and Pitternet also 14 disposals to go along with 20 hitouts.
Yep, good performances from both, really, if you're a Blues fan. So far, so good. Pitnet at the front position. Segler, Dempsey, just trying to clear it. Here's Setterfield, high up and under. This will be play on. A couple of Blues players just raffling it off amongst themselves. Nevitt, the bottom of the pack, and we'll have it tossed up again.
Yep, Setterfield almost marked his own kick there. Of course, wouldn't have been paid the mark considering it only went about 5 metres, but interesting nonetheless. Setterfield again. Here's Chincotta providing some run and carry off half back. Runs his full measure. And the kick not really directed towards anyone in particular and bounces over the boundary line on that far side of the ground. But it is inside forward 50 for the Blues. They trail it by 1 point. 8-9-57 to 9-4-58. Shannon Neal's kicked 4 of the 9 goals for the Cats. The Blues have got a more even spread of goal kickers. Ned Carl, their only multiple goal scorer on the day. As it's tossed back in, Segler has the front position. Double palm was beautiful down to Stevens, and immediately the Cats out of danger. Neal left it behind, but it was over the boundary line, so it mattered not. As the sun begins to set over the city of Melbourne, we've got a beautiful view of it from our commentary position. But the boundary umpire is going to have to toss it in front of that construction site again. It's happened a lot today. Segler somehow got the hands free. Pitternet almost took his opponent high. Now he's won the footy and got it out. They trail it by a point, the Blues, towards half forward. Carl didn't allow Lloyd to take the mark, but wasn't able to impact the contest too much himself, but that's a good tackle. And we'll have it balled up. No, it'll be tossed in over the boundary line.
2-point ball game. Tigers, Richmond still hanging on at North Melbourne.
It's been a fantastic day of close games in the Smithies VFL. This one tossed in. And Segler hit that straight towards the boundary line, but lucky for him it bounced.
So which way is this going to go?
Will Setterfield's got 39 disposals.
We still have the close one here at Icon Park. Time ticking down. Pitnet might have had his arm held. Here's Shellcraft, just worried off it by that man, Setterfield. And land ball over the top. They've just got to be clean here, the Blues. I don't think they can. It's been turned over. Dalhouse met solidly by Chincotta, and he's kicked that ball out of bounds on the full, and it's gone into the construction side again. Although this one might be easily retrieved. Yep, we can get that one back. It's just over the boundary line.
Yep, no one's taken that one home.
Oh, they've turned the blue sign on too. Is that a sign? And on their building, there's Chincotta, the ball over the line.
Perhaps a bit of trying to get in their heads, Peter.
Is that like the Batman signal or something like that? It's time to get the job done, perhaps? I don't know, but it is in the right part of the ground if you are a Blues fan. A 1-point ball game. Time continuing to tick down. 26 minutes gone. And Segler just throws it onto the boot. Williams, will he go head first again? He was second to the contest, still going in, trying to just extract the footy. The umpire gives them plenty of latitude, and then we'll come in and toss the ball up. Still a 2-point ball game at North Melbourne.
The other comeback kid today, Sam Simpson, 21 disposals, 7 marks.
He's been excellent today. Pitnet. Ball just hacked out of there by Ma, putting it inside 50. Here's Carl. He's got some time. He's got some space. He's going to drag it to the top of the square. And here is McGovern. He's been swung forward.
He's going to get 50 as well.
And he could be the match winner for Carlton.
It's brought him 2 metres closer to goal.
So Mitch McGovern, his comeback game, he's not going to miss from here. Chance to put the Blues back in front. Very deliberate approach, top of the goal square. And he's put it through. Welcome back to footy, Mitch. They lead by 5. Deep into this final term, 27 minutes gone. Well, now it's over to the Cats and see what they can do.
Well, we did mention it earlier. He'd been swung forward, being Mitch McGovern. They needed a goal. They needed it desperately, and with a set of hands like his, you just put it in the vicinity and chances are he'll take it. And we've seen him kick clutch goals before. So no doubt he was going to have ice in his veins. But now it's over to the Cats. They trail it by 5 and they need to win to keep their VFL season alive. Radagalia's into the middle. Dalhouse is in the centre bounce as well. Pitternet wins the stoppage though and gets it straight to Dow, who launches him inside forward 50 again. Crocker sat underneath the floating ball and took the mark.
And he's going to take every last second here.
He certainly will. Hasn't had the kicking boots on today, Ben Crocker. But this very much within his capabilities, and if he kicks this one, that might just do it. Almost 29 minutes gone in the final term. They've been challenged immensely in this final term, the Blues. They led it virtually all day. Geelong took the lead early in the quarter, but the Blues have hit back, and Ben Crocker might just finish it off from as good as directly in front, but he's hooked it. And now it's an even 1-goal game.
Here they go. Stevens up the middle of the ground. It's a helicopter. Front position. Mark couldn't take the mark. Cats just need to be desperate. They need to get it and go, but they don't. It goes the other direction. North does well back inside 50. It's going to be turned over again. Burns got it. Again through the corridor. Again it's going to drop short. And again North is going to take the mark. He should just slow things down. Decides not to. 1-goal ball game in favour. Oh, Crocker, was he pushed out there? No, said the umpire. Burn. He's got to be clean. Oh, that's going to be high tackle. No, it's not. They're letting everything go. It's good to see. That was Jai Shellcraft. Now the ball's in dispute. Chance here again for the Blues. Little short chipping ball into the pocket, Sanders. Well, the Cats had some opportunity. They had to be desperate through the middle. Had to take a few risks. It came unstuck. And now Ollie Sanders. This will ice the game. No matter what score he puts on the board. Of course, out of bounds on the full will make it interesting. By the way, a 2-point win for Richmond over North Melbourne at Arden Street. Sanders will be called to get on with it right now. Oh, he's just going to put the ball up, top of the square. And a mark! It's Glass McCasker. He got the front position. He had to work for it. And Glass McCasker takes the mark, and he surely will ice the game from here.
Well, you'd think any score will do it. And he's kicking from the top of the square, Glass McCasker, so that should be it.
Kicked a goal in the opening term. And he could slam the lid shut in this final term. Jesse Glass McCasker will finish things off for the Blues. They'll be into the top 4 tonight on this Smithies VFL table, and it'll be a 6th loss in a row for the Cats. They've been gallant in this final quarter, but they haven't been able to get the job done. 2-goal ball game here at Icon Park. 31 minutes gone. There's not much time left.
Yep, and for the Cats, it's almost deja vu from last week. They were jumped in the opening quarter against Casey, then they came back to take the lead early in the final term before the Demons just ran over the top of them at the end, and that's exactly how the script has gone today against Carlton. So it'll be a really disappointing result for the Cats, but for Carlton, this will be their 3rd win in the last 4 games. On the wrong end of a close result last week against the Borough. Looks like they're going to be on the right end of it this week. Plenty of time given. Now the Cats just have to surge forward. Simpson inside forward 50, and the mark is taken by Childcraft. It's Cade. And he's not taking any time at all. Directly in front, 45 out, not going to score. And it's marked. Dempsey on the goal line.
Better get on with it.
Yep. And he's got to get behind his mark first. He goes with the right foot banana and hits the post. 11 points now the margin. The Carlton crowd pretty happy to give it to him as well. He thinks he perhaps should have done a bit better with that.
Yeah. You can tell you're playing at Icon Park. Hey, by the way, Mitch McGovern's just wandered back into defence. Why not? Just the chance to ice the game. Kicking a goal. And Liu will just let it go as far as he possibly can. Ratugolea flying over the top. Can't be much time left. Cats still trying to push. Well, there's hope, I guess. Kick up towards half forward. Should be a free kick. And it will be to Josh Shellcraft, but it will matter not. Big win here for the Blues. And they are into the top 4 on the Smithies VFL ladder. An 11-point victory in the end. 10-10-70 to 9-5-59. They get over the top. They were trailing at times in that final quarter, but they managed to get the win. They led by 24 at quarter time, 12 at half time, 4 at three-quarter time, and they end up running out 11-point winners.